Hey everyone, with the changes to Marrow Shards in 1.4, I wanted to try out the new Splinter Nova with Poison, and it ended up feeling surprisingly smooth to play. This is obviously an off-meta build, but it can clear all content including the new Omen's Veil and the Fractured Prison without much of an issue. However, in order to kill Uber, you're going to need to take some time to gear up the character, and it's going to be a lengthier fight relative to something like the Mana Flay Lich meta build. I have some 850 corruption gameplay in the background, and also have the Omen's Veil and Fractured Prison encounters at the end of the video, for those of you who are interested in checking out how the build plays. The build comes together pretty well with the new Jorman's 2-piece set effect that gives 20% more damage, and the more damage to enemies affected by bleed for Marrow Shards affixes on both the idol prefix and the body armor prefix. The season has been fairly fun to play so far with the new item corruption and I guess the changes to the idol altars. You gotta love the RNG on top of the RNG, right? Anyways, let's get into the build. Alright, let's go over passives. Acolyte tree is pretty basic. Opting to get the poison chance because we're doing poison. The last 5 points here. And then for leveling, you want to get 10 points to get Hour of Decay. And then once you get 10 points, go back to Warlock, get the 15 points into Poison Overload, and then go back to Lich Tree and fill it out. Right now, since we're using Poison, using Dagger and Axe, we're taking this node to get more damage with the Axe and some movement speed with the Dagger. And as far as the rest of it is pretty much same for the Poison setup. Okay. For the gear, we're doing the 2-piece Jorman's set. So we're doing a one-hand axe, the chitin axe, claw, and the belt. So you don't have to do this. I mean, obviously 20% more damage is pretty nice, but getting this craft was kind of difficult, I found. So that's why I still like tier 6s, because I haven't found any tier 7s to craft on. So that's one of the things. If not, if you don't go this, you just do two chitin daggers and some other belt, right? Venom belt or a Viper tail or a Brewmaster probably. Opting to go with the Reliquary Nest because the idols give a lot of damage, and with this effect going up to 54% or going with 60%, it's really nice. On top of that, you can get the more effect with the altars this season, so you get additional effect. Preferably you get a tier 7 prefix with some suffix, but I'm just using what I can get, right? As far as idols go, we're doing the huge idols for the prefix, the 4% more damage over time to bleeding enemies with Marrow Shards. So if you have 2 of these, that's 8%, and then you have an additional, the Reliquary Nest, you get another up to 60%, and then if you can get like a really good roll on the prefix effect on the altar, that's another, I think, another 40%, right? So it's like 100%. So it goes from 8 to 16. 15% more damage to bleeding enemies with Marrow Shards, which is pretty nice. And then the suffixes, you get more poison chance, right? And then as far as the ornate idols go, we're doing the poison damage while Hour of Decay, it goes up to 100%. So two prefixes, and you can get 100% of that, so it's like 400% increased damage just from 2 idols. And the altar and the Reliquary Nest, which is pretty crazy, right? And the rest of the 4, you can, do elemental resistance or whatever you need at the end. I have not gotten any more red rings, so I'm just using a Tongue of the Seer for now, and then Mage Blood Gloves. It's more for the mitigation more than anything else. And then we're using Null Portent because with the setup, it's fairly easy to overcap the resistances. I think that's it for the gear. The main things to point out for this season is the Jorman set, the 2-piece set, and then the prefix for the more damage. More damage over time. Prefix, right? Let's go over the skills real quick. AOD, it's pretty similar. Setup for AOD for Poison, and Hungering Souls mainly is the 40% damage or time buff. You can maintain this uptime because you're speccing into the Hungering Souls nodes in Death Seal. So every time I reap, I get about 2 seconds of like 5 procs of Hungering Souls to proc out. So all you need to do is proc the buff, and after that you can just reap or dash. They all just automatically cast Hungering Souls when you do either of that. And then you just cast Hungering Souls once every 8 seconds, and the rest of the time you just casting Marrow Shards. Okay? That's the gameplay pretty much. Reaper Form, standard setup for Poison. You probably want to put 2 points here to get the cooldown to like around 1.6 seconds. Makes the quality of life a lot better, feel better, and also you want to have it up as much as possible because the free cast of the Hungering Souls. Marrow Shards, they changed this season so that a lot of the more damage nodes is generic and not for hit only. It used to be a hit only, so you couldn't really use this for damage over time setups. But now you get this node, you get the splinters, 150% more damage, and then more damage here, and then we're making it into a Nova, right? So, and then also they changed it this season so that the double cast chance is 100% when you direct cast, so it's always twice, which is very nice. But as far as damage goes, I mean, obviously my gear is still not optimized, but if you can get like the ideal setup, you probably can get 6 million. Oh, actually more. Actually, I think 7 to 8 million ticks on the dummy. I mean, obviously that's nothing to write home about as far as like relative to the other builds out there for the Mana Flay Lich obviously is still the main damage or main build for damage for Lich. And then obviously like the other classes which like take out the dummy in like under 10 seconds. Yeah, this is not going to compare to any of that. So yeah, we're playing a ethical build. At this point I don't even know, like I don't know what the fuck HG, they don't care about the balance, right? So anyway, it's basically if you're looking for maxing damage, then there's only one build for Lich. That's a Mana Flay. That's it. There's nothing else. So, but yeah, I think that's pretty much it, right? Death Seal. Yeah, here's a tree. But yeah, the Hungering Souls will proc out from Reap. About, was it 5 casts? 6 casts. And same with the Dash. It's also 6 casts. 5, 6, yeah. So yeah, so you just have to have it once. The gameplay's pretty smooth. You reap, you do like a couple casts of Marrow Shards, you move on. Like packs, like I'm doing 850 corruption right now, and you just reap and then cast Marrow Shards, and they're pretty much dead. And then you can go next, right? So we've done the new pinnacle content. It's it's a lot easier than Uber in terms of like how much damage you need to take it out, and then as far as like the mechanics go, it doesn't hurt that much. pretty much like if you have your death seal up, you can tank everything, even the meteors. So, anyways, yeah. If you'd like to enjoy the video, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. Thanks for watching. See you next time. So you could do one first until you're almost done with it, and then trigger the other two. It looks like that works. You don't have to do all three at the same time. I mean, obviously, unless your build can just wreck everything. Thinking about like specking into Warlock and getting the proliferation on the poison, but I spend like nine more points out of the Lich tree. I don't know if I want to do that. So right about now, move to the other champion. Okay, I gotta start the other team. Get a seal and just keep everything for a little bit. Run in circles until I get that seal again. Stand in the middle and just make everything for a little bit. Oh shit, I'm stuck. Okay, got SEO again. And so A's done. SEO again. Run away. Oh shit. Away. Now it's just mini bosses. And we have it. GG. Honestly, time to just test it. Where the fuck are you going? Yep, just straight take that like a boss. That seal. Final phase. The jukes. Nope. Easy peasy. Come on, Amulet.